The story goes that there is a farm near a cliff, and the cliff has a sheer drop onto rocks, and to fall would mean certain death. And one day a tourist turns up and asks the farmer, "Do people fall off this cliff often?" And the farmer says, "No, people only fall off this cliff once." You see the point, I hope, because the gospel should be illumined by that. The tourist asked a question, but the farmer didn't answer it. The farmer gave an answer, but to another question. So it's important to understand who's asking what and why. The tourist wanted to know, is it safe to go along this narrow path near a sheer cliff edge? The farmer answered that not to go across safely, however many people, would be fatal. Now, today's gospel makes us consider these kinds of questions about the safety of our journey to salvation and the possibility of its loss. And here then, there are two main characters, if you like. There's God and there's each of us. And when, say, we're explaining Christianity to someone who doesn't share our faith, and we come across hell, we tend to think, rightly, that that's not an easy question to ask or answer. And it's usually put, how can a God of love be compatible with the existence of hell? Notice that the question, of course, is loaded, and that's very hard to notice how our questions are loaded. To ask how can a God of love be compatible with hell is to make God the problem. Why doesn't he exercise his love? But is God necessarily the problem? Is he problematic? Should we not ask, what makes me not want to be saved? That's a different kind of question, you see. That's a question about us, not necessarily about God. To ask then about the problem of the existence of hell, we shouldn't instinctively ask searching questions about God. We should ask searching questions about ourselves. The reaction to sin is to hide. We see it in Genesis. God, after Adam and Eve have fallen, goes into the garden looking for Adam and Eve. What do? They hide. Yet again, how often do we say, how can we find God? Well, why not ask, why do we hide from God? To make sure he doesn't find us. See, nothing's neutral. You can't just ask any question you like. You have to be quite sure if it's the right question to the right person. So often in the scriptures, it's not a question of people finding God. It's a question of God searching for people. And we see it in the life of Jesus, the prodigal son, the lost coin, endless examples. God comes looking for us, always. But now and then we choose to hide. We choose to sin. So the problem about the God of love and hell might not be a problem about God. It might be a problem about us. Well, how could it be then? Well, today's gospel centers on meals, on groups of people being joyful and happy at a meal. First, those who did share a meal with Jesus, but not much more than taking in food and drink, and then the heavenly banquet, with which the gospel ends. So let me offer you another picture to show how, like the tourist and the farmer, you have to align the question to the right person with the answer to that question. Supposing there's a family celebration, it's Christmas, it's Granny's birthday, and all the family gathers. It's a joyful occasion, lots to celebrate, everyone's happy, except for one little boy who goes into the corner and won't come and sit down. Now, what could possibly happen? Well, he would be asked, come and join us. It's Granny's birthday, it's Christmas. Look, we're happy. People have come from afar, not unlike in today's gospel. But the little boy won't come. He stays stubbornly in the corner. I won't come. Now, one solution might be if one of the parents picked him up and sat him on a chair and says, you are coming, sit down. To ask about God, God's love and hell, is not unlike that. It depends on 2 points of view. From God's point of view, there is only come, I welcome you, come, join us, be happy. Just like the family says to the little boy, come, join us, be happy. But the boy won't come. The possibility of being in hell is refusing to go to God. God doesn't refuse us, we refuse him. We're the question, we're the problem, but we shift it on to God. Now, to force someone to join the party is an unusual picture of love. You can't force someone to love you, but that's what, hiddenly, we would be asking if we said, how can hell be compatible with a loving God? It would be, if God used force to bring us with him, well, there won't be love. So the problem can't be there. The problem might be nearer to us. Not where's God, but why do I hide from him?